I grew up in the country and I always believed the air that we breathed in Western Australia was clean and healthy. I thought the government had regulations on industries to prevent them from polluting the air. But the Esperance lead scandal in 2007 made me think differently. And upon further investigation, I found that Esperance was not the only community at risk. The town of Kwinana, population 21,000, lies 40 kilometres south of Perth and just a short drive from the Kwinana freeway.
I've only been staying here at Kwinana for a couple of months, but yeah, it's a nice quiet place and I like the people here that I've met so far, yeah.
I like nothing about Kwinana. I think it's the whole of the joint.
Why do you think it's the whole?
Too many rat bags in one joint.
Yes, I think it's a nice place to raise a family. It's more like community, more in the country sort of style living. People in the shops are all friendly and everything.
It's also home to Western Australia's largest industrial strip. Prevailing northeasterly winds from the ocean blow smog from the industrial area directly over Kwinana and then over the city of Perth on a daily basis. When I found out about this issue, I began my investigation by going to see a local Kwinana man who has spent the last 10 years of his life researching the issue. Hello. Hey. How you going? Thanks. Steve Hesse has lived in Kwinana all his life and worked in industry for over 20 years before illness forced him to quit. Both Steve's parents died in their early 60s, and Steve has had cancer twice. He has also developed multiple chemical sensitivity and chronic fatigue. Steve's family has gone through 5 dogs, all of which died of cancer.
In terms of the direct relationship between cancer and pollution, it's quite clear that many of the substances that are emitted by the big industries in Kwinana are cancer-causing agents. You've only got to look up websites like the National Pollution Inventory to see that they spew huge amounts of kilograms, and in some cases tons of cancer-causing materials into the air. That's collectively all the industries in the Kwinana industry area. So my view is that there is strong evidence to suggest that all the right things are in place there to create cancer clusters. There has also been other evidence from time to time that has emerged from official sources that would indicate there's much higher cancer rates down there than would be expected in the normal population. In particular, I remember an issue where one of our people walked into a hospital in the area and saw a cancer map on the wall of the Kwinana area, and it was literally just covered in red dots representing cancer victims in that zone. A few days later, when he asked for a copy of the map, there was complete denial that the map even existed or that any of that kind of work had ever been done, when one of our people had seen it with his own eyes and had looked at what the statistics were on that map. And that's just a part of the government culture of playing down the issues of industrial pollution in Kwinana and elsewhere in the state.
We tried getting a hold of that map, but it disappeared 6 months, and we haven't seen it since.
I saw the cancer map, and it's a fascinating little bit of investigation to see where these various cancers arise. Those sort of bits of information are very hard to deal with from my point of view. I mean, I think from the individual's point of view, they're often potent messages, and we have, patient groups, active groups who are very carefully collecting all the cases of cancer and other adverse effects to try and show a link to industrial pollution.
Steve is the president of a community group called the Kwinana Progress Association, which has been fighting for years to bring attention to the high rates of illness in Kwinana.
We don't believe that the government and government agencies and local councils really look after the interests of the people and the residents. We think that they do things underhandedly and attempt to hoodwink the population.
According to studies by the Health Department, the male death rate from cancer in Rockingham and Kwinana was 25% above the state average in 2000. Just north of Kwinana, the overall cancer rate was 27% higher than average, and among women, the cancer rate was 42% higher. But the health department decided not to publicise these figures, so no one knew about them until 2002, when community groups, the media and the opposition government demanded they be released.
It's very clear that there is death and disease among the population of Perth because of industrial pollution.
Our connection with industry seemed obvious. The West Australian noted that, according to the federal government's National Pollutant Inventory database, more than 60 tonnes of toxic pollutants are pumped into the air every day from industries on the Kwinana Strip, including known carcinogens such as benzene, formaldehyde and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons.
So we know that those things are extremely harmful and they can carry lethal contaminants on them. We know that those people will be breathing them in those areas in concentrated measures. Ammonia has recently, and formaldehyde have recently been classified, formaldehyde particularly, as a carcinogen. A lot of the reactive organic compounds coming out of the refineries down there are carcinogens. So you know you have high concentrations of cancer-causing chemicals in an area where there is a population with an increased cancer rate. It doesn't take long to join the dots. And we're able to join them. A lot of medicos are able to join them, but it seems that government and industry can't get their act together to join the dots and reduce their pollution levels, particularly of the carcinogenic materials.
At first, the Director of Population Health, Michael Jackson, said the high cancer rates must be due to an ageing population in Kwinana, but later admitted this was not the case. Then, the Health Department insisted that poor lifestyle must be to blame.
They try and blame it on lifestyle issues like, oh, these people smoke and drink too much or something along those lines. Now, we've had other independent experts verify the fact that even when you correct for things like smoking and age and lifestyle, that the rates of cancer in Kwinana are much higher than anywhere else in the state.
Of all the people with lung cancer who smoke, probably 5 or 10% of them might not have got cancer if they hadn't also been exposed to industrial pollution. But you can't find which one.
It's a low socio-economic area. So in a low socio-economic area you do see some increase in cancers and other health issues because of poor lifestyle. But he was referring to excess drinking, smoking, etc. Living in Kwinana, a lot of us can tell the story that, and when I was working, trying to bring up 3 kids, we didn't have any excess money to spend on alcohol. We were too busy trying to bring up a family.
In 2007, the Department of Environment completed a 2-year study of the air quality in Perth. When presenting this study, John Sutton from the Department of Environment said the figures were okay and no cause for concern. That's also what they said about Esperance. So I decided to have a closer look at this air quality study.